Some pains have no name, but they are real. You feel them, but you cannot explain them. And the hardest part is that no one seems to understand. These pains are not physical, they are spiritual. And no matter how much you try to ignore them, they remain there. Silent, deep, constant. It is not weakness. It is a mark. It is a sign that you have been set apart. Being chosen by God is not about immediate glory. It is about enduring processes that few would withstand. It is walking in the dark, trusting without understanding, and continuing steadfastly even when everything seems against you. These pains do not come up in ordinary conversations, because those who carry this calling learn to suffer in silence, and to grow in silence. You may even try to live like others, but deep down you know that something in you is different. You feel more, you tire more, you withdraw more. And even without answers, you keep moving forward. Because your heart knows there is something greater being built, even if it is still hidden. And this pain is part of the preparation. If this topic resonates with you, follow the channel and activate the notification bell now. Here you will find strength, direction, and clarity to understand what you are experiencing inside. You no longer need to explain yourself. You just need to keep going. Your process is not madness. It is a calling. And those who are called are strengthened in silence. There is a pain that no one sees, a type of weight that does not show on the face, but exhausts the chest, tightens the mind, and drains the soul. It is the spiritual burden that the chosen carry in silence. It has no form, it has no explanation, but it is there, present every day, even when everything seems normal on the outside. The chosen do not walk around with a badge. They do not stand out due to external victories. They are recognized by their internal marks, by what they endure without showing. Life shapes them in silence, through the pains that no one understands, in the emptiness that no one can fill. And even so, they stand tall, not because they are stronger, but because they have been set apart. This separation is not visible. There is no ceremony. It happens inside. Suddenly, life begins to weigh differently. Emotions become deeper, battles more intense, and the feeling of not fitting in becomes constant. You feel that you are carrying something that you cannot explain, but that accompanies you wherever you go. It's as if the world has an extra layer for you. You perceive things that no one else notices. You absorb pains that are not yours. You cry inside at moments that should be happy. And the worst part, almost no one notices. Because this burden does not scream. It merely remains there every day silent. Many chosen ones try to hide this. They think it's weakness, exaggerated sensitivity, or emotional problems. But it is not. It is the calling beginning to manifest. It is the soul being prepared for something greater. The weight comes before the mission. God does not give a purpose without first strengthening the structure of the person who will carry it. That is why those who have been set apart feel everything more intensely. The falls hurt more, the silences disturb more, the cycles close with greater force. It is as if each phase of life comes with a deep lesson, even in simple matters. And it is this way because there is a spiritual process underway. This type of pain is not shared with just anyone, not out of pride, but because it is hard to find someone who understands. When you try to explain, the response is always the same. You are exaggerating, but you know you are not. Because the weight you feel is not emotional, it is spiritual. You may even get used to living this way, but deep down, you feel that something is coming. And that constant feeling of waiting, of transition, of preparation, it accompanies you. This is a sign that there is a calling in progress. Even if you do not yet know the destination, the journey has already begun. In the meantime, you carry on, between days of strength and others of silence, between moments of clarity and others of confusion. And that is okay. The chosen are not perfect, but they are shaped. Each pain you carry today is part of something that will make sense down the road. The spiritual burden is real, but it does not come to crush you. It comes to prepare you. You feel more because you will need to deal with more. You endure more because you will be an example for others. God never allows a weight without purpose. And if you are feeling this, it is because you are being trained for something greater. You enter a crowded environment, chatting, laughing, trying to fit in, but inside, something continues to feel empty. It's as if you're out of tune. The words make sense, the people are nice, the atmosphere is light, but your heart is distant. You feel physically present, but absent within. This has been happening since early on. You try to fit in, change your way, hide what you feel to be accepted. But the more you adapt, the more you feel you are betraying something within yourself. Because the truth is that the world around you seems small compared to what is happening inside your soul. You see beyond. You notice what hasn't been said. You feel what no one has mentioned. While everyone talks about the surface, you feel the depth, and this makes you different. But often, it also makes you feel strange, out of place, as if it were a mistake to be the way you are. It is not a mistake. It is separation, and yes, it hurts. It hurts because you want to be a part of it, but you can't fully fit in. It hurts because it feels like you live in an emotional language that few speak. You love more deeply, perceive more quickly, suffer more silently. And all of this creates a distance that is not always visible. This feeling of not belonging can accompany you in various places: family, friends, church, work. And this does not mean that people do not love you. It means that your soul is on a different rhythm. It is being prepared for something that does not depend on the acceptance of others, but on God's revelation about your path. Many of the chosen go through this pain, and not understanding, they think there is something wrong with them. They try to change, to silence themselves, to erase themselves, but nothing solves the issue. Because the problem is not who you are. It is how much your essence has yet to find an environment that can accommodate your depth. The feeling of being out of place is not a sign of spiritual weakness. It is a sign that your spirit is being set apart. And this separation is not always physical. Often it is emotional, silent, and painful. But it is part of the process. Because before being positioned, the chosen must be separated. Even surrounded by people, you feel nostalgic for something you have never lived. A kind of spiritual home, a deeper connection, an exchange you have yet to find. And this longing follows you because your soul already knows that more exists. It recognizes what has not yet arrived. This pain teaches you something valuable. Not all solitude is absence. Sometimes it is protection. Sometimes it is preparation. God distances you from certain environments so that you can know yourself outside the influence of others, so that you can understand who you are without needing approval, so that you learn to listen to yourself. You are not lost. You are in transition. You are not wrong. You are in formation. All of this makes sense, even if it does not seem that way yet. And what today feels like disconnection will tomorrow be clarity. Because those who are set apart by God first walk alone. Then they are positioned in the right place, with the right people. This emptiness you feel, this distance even when near others, is your spirit being aligned with something greater. And when the right time comes, you will realize you were not out of place. You were being led to your true place, the one that has been reserved just for you. There are days when you wake up tired. even after a good night's sleep. The body responds, but the soul feels dragged down. It's as if something invisible is draining your energy. You look around and everything seems normal, but inside, there is an exhaustion that doesn't match the routine. And the most confusing part is, you don't know where it's coming from. This tiredness is not physical. It's not about sleeping too little or working too much. It is a fatigue that originates in the soul. A constant feeling of weight, as if you are carrying something that no one else notices. While others move lightly, you feel as if you are fighting a battle all the time, even in silence. The truth is that for those who have been spiritually set apart, the struggle is internal. The chosen one feels before others, absorbs the environment, perceives the atmosphere, captures emotions. You enter a place, and without exchanging a word, can already sense the weight that lingers there. And all of this, even without wanting to, affects you. This spiritual sensitivity is not visible. And because of that, many think you are exaggerating, tired for no reason, weak. But they are not in your shoes. They do not know what it is like to fight against thoughts that are not yours, against pressures that come without explanation. You feel what many ignore, and that is exhausting. The soul of someone chosen by God is shaped in silence. While most live on autopilot, you are led to see beyond, and this requires energy. It is as if you are being spiritually tuned day after day, and this process, even though subtle, is draining. It is a war without noise, but intense. At times, you try to disguise it. You smile, chat, complete your tasks. But deep down, the weight is there. It is hard to explain this kind of tiredness because it doesn't stem from effort. It comes from spiritual surrender, from always being attentive, always connected, always carrying something that is not seen but felt. This tiredness also comes from the responsibility that your presence carries. Where you are, the environment changes. Where you step, something is touched. And even without realizing it, you spiritually influence everything around you. This is not vanity. It is mission. And every mission has a cost. In your case, many times the cost is emotional energy. Sometimes you think about giving up. You feel weak, like you can't take it anymore. But what is happening is the opposite. You are being strengthened. This exhaustion is a sign that you are crossing deep layers, that you are being cleansed, shaped, prepared. It is part of the polishing that precedes the sending. Few people will understand this weight, because few are going through the same process. But that does not make you strange. It makes you set apart. It makes you sensitive to what is spiritual. And those who carry this sensitivity inevitably feel the world more heavily, but also more truly. If you feel this inexplicable tiredness, do not ignore it. Acknowledge that your soul is going through something important. Respect your limits. Rest. Step back when necessary. God does not expect perfection. He expects surrender, and yours is already being made, even when you think you are doing nothing. This tiredness is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of depth, of connection, of mission. You are being used, even on days when you can't seem to move forward, because often your mere existence is already changing the environment. And those who carry light also feel the weight of the darkness around them. You feel the environment before hearing any words. You enter a place and already know when something is wrong, even if everything seems normal. You can perceive when someone is feeling bad, even with a smile on their face. This sensitivity is not common, and sometimes it seems like a burden, but it is part of who you are. The chosen do not just observe, they absorb. Everything passes through them with more intensity. Words, glances, silences, invisible noises. While many ignore the details, you feel the details. And that is exhausting. Because living with your heart so open to the world requires emotional strength. It requires faith. It requires inner resilience. You have tried to disconnect. You have thought, why do I feel so much? Why does this affect me this way? But you haven't been able to change, because it is not a choice. It is a spiritual tool. Your calling demands sensitivity, and to see beyond the surface, you must feel what is hidden below. It is not exaggeration, it is perception. What seems small to others carries weight for you. A stray phrase, a strange atmosphere, a cold gesture. All of this affects you, and the most challenging part is that often you feel before you understand. And until you comprehend, the discomfort lingers inside, hammering away. This sensitivity connects you with the invisible. You sense, intuit, perceive, and even if no one notices, you already know. This knowing without knowing is spiritual, and those who carry this ability need to learn to take care of it. Because without protection, this sensitivity becomes weariness. And weariness turns into pain. You cry for stories that are not yours. You suffer for pains you have not lived. You feel anxious in crowded environments even without knowing why. And all of this may seem strange to those who live on autopilot. But you do not live that way. You were called to feel, and to feel deeply. Many times your soul tires before your body does, because it is in constant activity. It is as if it is always alert, always listening to what no one says, seeing what no one shows. And because of this, you need silence. You need moments alone. Not out of arrogance, but out of spiritual necessity. You isolate yourself not because you do not love people, but because you feel too much. And this excess, without pause, makes you ill. The chosen learn, over time, that they do not need to be available all the time. That sensitivity is not an obligation to help. That feeling does not mean carrying the problems of others. There is a difference between empathy and absorption, and learning to separate this is an important step. You can care, pray, counsel, but you do not need to destroy yourself in the process. Your heart is noble, but it needs limits. Because even the most beautiful gift without direction becomes a burden. This pain of feeling too much is in fact preparation. God does not waste sensitivity. He uses it. He sends people like you to places where no one notices what is happening. And there, through your perception, He acts. Your presence becomes an instrument, your silence an intercession. The chosen carry this sensitivity like a spiritual antenna. They are living alerts. And this is not weakness, it is empowerment. But every tool needs to be cared for. That is why, protect yourself. Filter. Step back when necessary. Preserve your peace as one would preserve a source of life. Do not try to explain yourself anymore. Those who feel as you feel will understand, and those who do not feel will not. Your sensitivity is a gift, not a defect. It is a divine touch on the spirit, and it is only there because your mission requires you to see what others do not see, and feel what others ignore. You were created this way for a reason, and what seems like exaggeration today will tomorrow be the channel through which you will heal, teach, and transform. Feeling the world with such depth is not easy, but it is necessary, because through you, God reaches places where no one else can go. Being surrounded by people yet still feeling alone is one of the hardest experiences to explain. You participate in conversations, are present at gatherings, even smile in some situations, but inside there exists a silence. An emptiness that seems to dwell within you, even when everything around is in motion. This loneliness does not come from the absence of company, but from the lack of true connection. You look to the side and realize that few really understand what is going on inside you. Your ideas seem too deep, your emotions too intense, your faith too different. It's as if you speak another language. You try to adapt, try to fit in, but you feel like you are always out of sync. And the most painful part is not the absence of someone specific, but the feeling that no one can access who you really are. It feels as if there is a part of you that remains locked away, invisible to the eyes of others. You may have many around you and still feel that no one truly sees you. This does not mean that no one loves you, but that few are ready to walk in the depth where your soul resides. And that is okay. Not everyone will be able to accompany your journey, but God will. What you feel is not uncommon among the chosen. They are trained in silence, formed in solitude, strengthened in the invisible. Because the purpose they carry requires spiritual structure. And this structure is built where no one sees, where only God is, where the heart learns to depend solely on Him. Do not despair for not being understood. Do not blame yourself for not fitting in. Your difference is part of your mission, and your loneliness is a field of preparation. One day, you will look back and understand. It was in that silence that you grew the most. It was in that absence that you heard God's voice the most. You are not alone. You are in process. God does not hide you by accident. He keeps you for the right time. And until then, even with your heart tight, keep going. Because what today seems like loneliness, tomorrow will be testimony. And what hurts today will help you recognize that it was never abandonment. It was separation. There is a restlessness that accompanies the chosen ones, the certainty that there is something great waiting for them, even if they cannot yet see it. It's like carrying an unrevealed mission within your chest. You feel that you were created for something more, that your life has a different weight, but you cannot quite understand what it is. This feeling does not go away. It appears at random moments, often in silence, sometimes in the midst of a crowd. It is an internal voice that does not scream, but insists. A shapeless certainty, a direction without a map, and this absence of clarity hurts. Because knowing that something exists, and not knowing what it is, can be anguish-inducing. You begin to push yourself, to feel that you are behind, that you are not doing enough. You start to compare your journey with others and wonder, have I missed God's timing? Am I failing in my calling? These questions tighten your chest, generate guilt, and create fear. But the truth is that this pain is not a sign of failure. It is part of the process. The chosen do not receive everything at once. God reveals in parts. He builds in silence. And before giving you what is great, He wants to make sure that you are steady in the small things, in the today, in the now. This waiting has a purpose. It matures you, strengthens you, cleanses you from within. Because when the purpose arrives, you will need to be ready. God does not waste destiny on unprepared hearts. He carves with time, with patience, with care. And sometimes that care comes in the form of silence. You are not stagnant. You are being shaped. And when the right time comes, everything you feel will begin to make sense. The anguish will give way to direction. The emptiness will be filled with clarity. And you will understand that each moment of uncertainty was part of the preparation to live your calling. The pains you carry are not flaws in your path. They are part of it. Every silent discomfort, every feeling of displacement, every hidden tear is part of a greater process that cannot always be explained. When the soul begins to awaken to purpose, it feels before it understands. And those who have been chosen know this without needing to hear it from anyone. These pains that you have lived in silence are not the result of chance. They are clues left by God for you to realize that you are being prepared. It's as if your soul has been activated without warning, as if something invisible has called you out of the ordinary. And no matter how painful the journey may be, there is a destiny in all of it. You do not feel for no reason. If you recognized yourself in every word, it was not because you learned with your mind, but because your soul already knew. The recognition comes from within. It is the spirit responding to what has already been written. Perhaps you do not yet understand everything clearly, but the most important thing you have already understood. You have been set apart. You have been marked, and you are being shaped. From here on, proceed with greater awareness. Take care of your sensitivity, honor your silence, and respect the time God has determined to reveal each stage. What seems uncomfortable today will be clarity tomorrow. What seems like a delay today will be confirmation tomorrow. No pain you have experienced will be wasted. Everything has direction. Now tell me, which of these pains did you recognize in yourself? Share your experience in the comments. Sometimes your story can reach someone else who is also going through this process, but feels alone. And together, even in silence, you will realize that there is strength in acknowledging the spiritual journey. Remember, God transforms weight into direction. He hides out of love, prepares in silence, and sends at the exact time. If you have felt all of this, it is because you already know. You are not a mistake. You are one of the called. And heaven never forgets those who have been set apart. Just keep going. The rest will come.